Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, every single one of you. Welcome. And it's been a great time indeed. It's been a very long time indeed. I'm being away from Hey Let's Talk. Welcome to Hey Let's Talk on Empire Radio 360. I go by the name Godwyn OD. And of course, this is Hey Let's Talk on Empire Radio 360. Apologies for being away so long. 3 weeks is a long time for me. I mean, because as I got messages, somebody was even threatening us that Empire, I go report Una, say Una stop our program without permission. I was like, it's not that serious. It's not. We will not do such a thing to people. But you guys are welcome. Thank you all for always sticking around. Thank you all for always showing your love. And thank you all for always being there with us. Welcome to Hey Let's Talk on Empire Radio 360. My name is Godwyn OD. As always, my name hasn't changed. And if you're joining us, please get our links out to everyone that you know to be part of conversations today, to be part of the show. So, of course, enjoy all that we have to bring to you guys today on the show. Hey, let's talk live here on Empire Radio 360. Okay, so without any time taking any further time doing mende. Today I have a regular on the show. Of course, he's a friend. I could call him my egbon already because na senior man they tap one or two things from a man of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Of course, he's not a guest anymore on the show. He's part of the show. He's more like family. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me make some noise for Lakeside.
Don't say I be Egbon. That term, man, you guys actually carry some attachment to it. Say Egbon. I don't like Egbon, man. That's a bro.
Why not like Egbon?
I don't like him.
Tell me why.
No reason really.
But explain to me what is the Yoruba. There's a way this Yoruba language gives gravity to the meaning of things.
Oh, it actually does a lot.
It gives gravity. So is it that I must exaggerate the way I pronounce it, or is there a difference between Egbon and Egbon?
Yeah, they're actually different. But
hey, Mubi, I see you. Welcome. Hello, welcome to you, official Mubi. Welcome. Okay, explain to me, my man.
The first one is Egbon is acceptable, but the other one is Egbon. That's like Egbon for streets.
For streets.
But regardless, it's okay. It's fine.
Okay,
Egbon,
okay.
When you're Egbon 2.0. Egbon 1, Egbon 2, anyone are the same.
Okay, today we're going to be discussing on something very, very exciting. Today's topic is this generation, today's world, today's generation, more goal-driven or more impatient right now? Are we now more goal-driven or are we more impatient? I see Mr. Kateb. Mr. Kateb, hello, welcome to Hey Let's Talk on Empire Radio 360. I've missed you all. I've missed every one of you. Today we're talking on something. Today's generation, more goal-driven or more impatient? Like, are we now more goal-driven? Young people, elderly ones, do we now have the desire to achieve more than what life throws at us, or we are now more impatient? And as the program goes on, as we proceed, we're going to be tackling a few things, and I would appreciate your engagement. You know, even allow us start the show. You know, I did the answer. I'm more impatient, Mr. Carter. He said more impatient. Thank you. He don't close the case. You know, even waste time. But anyway. I should join us. I want to say thank you all for always sticking around. But should join us, please get our links out to everyone that you know. Let them be part of the conversation today on Here Let's Talk, Empire Radio 360. We do this every Wednesday and every Friday. Don't forget, this is always every Wednesday and every Friday. Forget the days we've been on by force holiday. Today, the show is back, and we do this every Wednesday and Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on both of these days. Okay, so Lakeside, let's start the conversation because it seems like Mr. Kateb is a representative of many others who are very eager to give their opinion already on this conversation. So this generation, more goal-driven or very impatient. Before we go into that aspect, today's world is the improvement, the technology, the advancement in things, in life, the way of living. Is it helping life become easier for us, or we are bringing more difficulties out of the advancement of today's world for you?
I think I'll stick to the first, which is, the first. It actually is making life easier for everybody, just like you understand, and like I always say, certain things go without you being able to explain to anybody. For every time there's something or a product or a service or a discovery or anything at all, there will always be merits and demerits. So for technology, obviously there are so many merits, so many advantages that you can take, that you can actually use for yourself and your craft, your product, your services, or whatever. At the same time, we have the negative side of technology, which is people are beginning to learn things that.
No, I'm not even sure I want us to dwell on technology itself alone.
No, I'm just trying to elaborate carefully. So, for what you just said, your question, yes, today's dispensation, this era, are we more goal driven?
No, we're going to come to that.
So I feel like it's a 50-50. Yeah, merits and demerits equally sharing it out. I think it's just a balance. Depends on the individual. Depends on the person who wants to do whatever. It depends on you. You make the final decision if you feel something should be of advantage to you or be to the other one. Okay, now from a personal point of view, from Lakeside's point of view, are we now more goal driven? Is the transformation in the world making us now increase in the goals we want to achieve, or we're now more impatient? Now, this question is very dicey and tricky, in the sense that I think we should be more goal driven because we have technology now. We have a lot to expose ourselves to. Yeah. I mean, you can sit in your bedroom or your office space and travel the world. I mean, exclusively travel. Already. Oh yeah, I'm coming for you. and you can sit in your please, world. Carter, you can make us understand why you disagree if you see it's wrong. Okay. I'm not a guy. I'm a young man. So I feel like you can sit in the space of your comfort zone and travel the world. I mean, you can exclusively travel the world and learn so much about other people's culture and even do remote jobs. Yeah. So look at that aspect now. You can do remote jobs from wherever you are in the world and get paid and do whatever you want to do. At the same time, like I said before, with technology, I feel like there's so much negativity also. Depends on who the person is. So back to your question, which is, are we more goal-driven? Yes, we should be more goal-driven, but somehow I feel like a large number of us are really relaxed because what we just do now in this wonderful dispensation is people just sit back and let somebody else do the hard job, and then everybody else does what? They copy and they paste. Now somebody comes up with something on social media, like a fine idea, and then they've done a lot of research to bring this thing to life, and then out of nowhere, people just sit back and copy and regurgitate. I think I like to use this term, regurgitate. Yeah. This is like a regurgitating dispensation where everybody just wants to do the same thing. I mean, you go on TikTok and everybody do the same kind of skits. Somebody launches a different kind of skit format, and in 24 hours, you have like 100 skits in the same format. Like people are just so relaxed and very complacent to just do what everyone does. They don't want to do research. They don't want to do their own dirty work. Roll up your own sleeves and discover your own thing. So I feel like, yes, in this era, yes, in this dispensation, people have become a little more relaxed. Some people just feel like, I mean, there's no need for me to work too hard. Yes, people will tell you that work smart, don't work hard, but let's not deceive ourselves. Before you begin to work smart, you must have worked hard to an extent to understand to be able to go around your workspace, to be able to go around your schedule and whatever you have lined up for yourself. So I feel like before you begin to work smart, you must have worked a little hard. What's hard work and what's smart work? Hard work is, I mean, in this context, working hard is finding means to solve a problem without you being directly involved. That's working smart, or looking for a methodology that allows you to solve it and still do other things, or even grind out the most effective results using the most simple tech or the most simple methodology. Then working hard is doing something, feeling like you are the one that can actually get it done and not giving room to other people to actually be in the team to help you do it. And you just feel like, okay, I can do this on myself, and you keep doing the same thing, using the same method. I can even, in a close context, I can actually say that working hard is doing something the same way, doing the same thing the same way, using the same methodology, but getting the results. To me, that's like working hard. Because if you do something for the first time and you get the results, it's an avenue for you to go back to the drawing board and find other methodologies that you can actually still use to get the same results. So I feel like working smart, it's actually really cool to work smart. Okay, but for you to work smart, you have to work hard to an extent. Okay, so Katap has said a lot of things. Bolu, my man, I see you. Welcome to Hey Let's Talk. We didn't see you on Asabi again, but we are glad to see you here. He said he should tell me the young people that making name out there in technology, they are not even recognized. We should be, but we are not. He said, young people making name in technology that they're not really recognized. Whose fault is that? They are recognized. Everybody's got their own field and their own space and their own world and their own context. Now, you don't expect a programmer to come to MTV Base and get awards. Nobody's going to recognize you as a programmer on MTV Base or on BBC or whatever. No, there are platforms where these people are recognized. It's a very big world. It's a very big world. So if you feel like these guys are not recognized, they are. They have different platforms for people who roll out patents, who discover things, and every now and then they get recognized, they get laurels, they get accolades, they get appreciation from whatever bodies are in charge. Like I said before, you expect a a medical doctor to come on a music show and get awards. not that kind of recognition, but in the medical field, I'm very certain that they are being recognized and appreciated appropriately. The same thing for programmers and tech people. In their own world, their own space, they get recognition and appreciation.
Okay, Osaka Prince, I see you. Welcome to Hey Let's Talk on Empire Radio 360. Today we're talking on today's generation. Are we more goal-driven or very impatient? And when it comes to very impatient, the aspect of very impatient is, are we now not patient enough to put in the work to achieve certain things? Or we just want the goal-driven spirit is what is pushing us to want to achieve things more early, not minding the means. Okay, now, so to the actual question I was going to ask, if you're joining, I see VFresh 2000, you're welcome to Hey Let's Talk. VFresh 2000, welcome to Hey Let's Talk on Empire Radio 360. So, the desire to achieve certain goals and meet certain standards, and certain standards and levels way earlier than expected, is that being very zealous? That's the desire now to achieve certain goals and meet certain standards or levels way earlier than expected. Is that now being very zealous or you being impatient?
Now, this topic of
Please,
yours...
you could also give me your opinion.
No, this topic of yours is,
sure.
like I said before, this topic is very dicey. Something you could actually talk about for a whole lot more in terms of time.
Yeah.
And you won't even cover 10% of the full topic. So you have to understand culture. You have to understand time zones and time context. This is the time of technology. With tech... There's a time can I actually use this term of, like, if I say something like back in the days, or if I use it in context of for old timers, there wasn't so much. There was discovery, there were like discoveries, there were discoveries. But look around you now. Now, for everything you try to discover, guess what? I'm sure if you look up the internet and you check, somebody somewhere has already done something very similar, and then you have like 100 people more who have replicated it over time. So the problem or the question now is not that people are not very zealous. Like I said before, people are just a little more relaxed because whatever you want to do right now these days, you can just Google up something or YouTube something and you find it right there waiting for you.
If you say relax, it kind of contradicts or defeats the purpose of impatience in this
context. No, I'm coming to that impatience and patience. Now, in time immemorial, back in the days of our forefathers or something, they were discoverers. They were people who would discover. They will they will pioneer something for the first time. They will try to cover new grounds, break new records, do something for the first time. Now look around you. Let's be realistic. Look around you. What do you want to discover now? In terms of tech, yes, in the tech field, people still discover new things. But look around you, a normal person on the street. What do you want to discover that hasn't already been discovered? What people just do these days is people just work on what already exists. They fine tune it. They find a way to improve on products, improve on services. I mean, new companies come out without necessarily discovering new products. All they do is look at the market space, look at what people are actually buying, look at the reviews, and look at what people are complaining about. They go to the drawing board. A new company, I'm talking about a new company now, they go to their own drawing board and try to modify already existing products and services. So are you not going to tell me now that they are becoming lazy? No, they're not lazy. They're just working with the time, and they're working in the space of what they have available to them. Now, this era makes people a little lazy. True. That's actually very correct. This dispensation makes people a little relaxed, a little lazy. And at the same time, not to contradict what I'm saying, but at the same time, people have become a little impatient. I mean, now you can easily just see somebody who is just like 21 years old and they've achieved so much already. And then you look at yourself and you're like, I'm 21 too now. I've not even done half of what this guy has done. And then you become impatient with your own goals. Why? Because it's tech for you to travel the world. You go on your social media, you see a guy from New Zealand. He has done so much at 21. You go to Asia, you see a guy like just 19. He's a tech guru at 19 already. And you're also a tech person in tech space, but you have not done much at 21. Now you begin to make comparisons with yourself with these people. And if you don't take time and you lose focus of your goals, you become impatient with your own goals. Don't forget, your goals are your goals. Are your goals. There's nothing wrong with looking at other people's goals and trying to draw out things from their own goals to attach to your own goals to actually achieve your own stuff. But at the same time, while you are doing that, there's a very thin line between staying focused on your goals and being completely distracted, looking at other people's goals. That makes you invariably impatient.
Now, let me cut you there because there's a comment that came in that is kind of similar with something you just said about young people being impatient. If you're joining us, you're welcome to Hey Let's Talk on Empire Radio 360. Katep said, I said young people, and besides, let's talk about our country first. I was going to bring that the climb. Stop using other people to justify. Let us use our surrounding. We are goal-driven and we goal-driven or very impatient. Young people are there and not seeing good opportunities, which bring pressure and depression. Those kind of things bring impatience and thereby sorting other ways to survive. This era does not bring good opportunities. Other ways to survive, mostly illegal ways to survive. This era does not bring good opportunities, please. He said new companies are out there. Why are they not picking the young gurus?
Bro, I don't know what your name is, but when you speak, you have to understand that you are speaking in your own context, your opinion, in your own climb. I'm sure this bro is speaking from his own climb. I'm sure he's a Nigerian,
yeah.
Exactly. So from the way, even before asking, I can actually tell that you are a Nigerian and you are speaking to a large extent from your own climb. The things you've experienced in your own climb. Bro, there are opportunities out there for a lot of people. Go to Europe and try, just looking around. There are young people doing amazing things. Some of the tech and the products that you enjoy were not designed by old men. Young men in that, before I even turned 20. Teenagers are everywhere programming things and products and services every day. So now back to this our own wonderful climb where we feel like there's so much fraud and it's just everywhere. Yes, this is the climb, but it's not the same for everybody. It's not a global thing. There's crime everywhere, yes, but it's really high here, very, very high here. I mean, every young person you see these days just want to buy a Mercedes-Benz and build a house with no skill set to compensate those desires. So yeah, in your own climb, yes, there's supposed to be opportunities for everybody, but because of the way crime has really, really, really gone up, even when you try to reach out to people on social media, using your internet, they decline you because they feel like where you're coming from, you're probably not even genuine. You're not sincere. You're just trying to scam them or something. Yes. But out there, bro, the young people are doing amazing things and there are endless and limitless opportunities for young people. Like I said before, the products and the services that you enjoy right now, even on your cell phones and everything else, on your gadgets and everything else, were designed by young people out there. Okay. Young people.
I see Swanky_CFR joined the show and Olada Pop, my man, you were on the show. Steph Nora 7, hello there. Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you guys for sticking around with us and joining us after a long time of the show. And today we're talking on today's generation. Are we more goal-driven or more impatient? Now I'm going to ask a very direct question.
So let me just break this, Mr. Carter. He said something about young people and new companies. Like I said, I talked about new companies coming up, and he's asking the question about the new companies not recruiting the young people. I'm like, guy, there's Microsoft on the island. There's so many Bluetooth companies now on the island recruiting young people. Have you been to any of those recruitments? They're not for old people, though. They'll even tell you from like 17 all the way to like 25, 26, 27. And that's it. Not even 30. Young people. So maybe this is not your field, so you're not very familiar with it. But I'm telling you, young people are getting opportunities every day. In this climb, I think it's a little harder because the crime rate is so high. But out there, generally, globally, young people are having opportunities every day, every second.
Okay, now let's talk about the young people now with skill set. People that actually have skill set and people that actually have vocational things they do.
That's skill sets too.
Yeah. Skill set, handwork. I'm trying to be very understandable so that anybody will not get what skill set is, will understand vocation or handwork. Since now Nigeria on a Sabi mention handwork, so
handwork.
People you do handwork. Let's talk about that aspect. If you go on social media today, you will practically almost see people that have started a field later than you. That means you probably started before them. But they get into that field, and then when you check their profiles, their movement or their growth in that field, it's more like they've done more than you that have been in that field longer. Then it now makes you start to think that this person just came into this field, and it looks like this person is excelling, the person is thriving. Probably the person is having more engagement on their social media platform after they advertise, and then you start to think, is it that I'm not doing something right? And probably you're not even doing anything wrong. But maybe it's just a process. Now, at that point, you now start to question your growth process in that field. What did this person do? Where did this person go? Should the person, in typical Nigerian context, should the person do and clean? Or should the person hand clean? Or where person, that kind of connection. Now, the question I want to throw about now is, this kind of thing, are they a contributing factor to what can demoralize somebody who has been in a field, hopeful that field will yield results, but then eventually seeing someone come in that field later than you and excel earlier than you?
Yes, Godwyn, you are absolutely correct. Absolutely. I mean, look around you. If you look at people who have been in the field for a while, let's say 10 years, a decade, and then somebody comes to that field, that same field, like 6, 7, a year after, and they've done so much in such a short time, you, the man who has been there for a decade, yes, you would think of your life. You ask yourself, am I growing? I'm just playing around. Now there's a problem. There's a question and there's a problem, which is times have changed and times are going to keep changing. with the introduction of technology and the way tech is proliferating right now, the growth of technology is very rapid. It's quantum, actually. Babaki said something off air last week and he said, 21st century comedians, some of them have actually failed to inculcate technology into their new skill, into their skill sets. Yeah, you want to do comedy the old way. Host shows, host events, be on the grand stage, talk and make the crowd laugh. Yes, that's amazing. That's the old way, bro. You have to look at tech. How do you inculcate technology into your skill sets? If you don't know how to use tech, you're going to be left. You're going to become a dying breed. It's for everybody, every sphere, every field. If you do not know how to inculcate tech into your whatever you're doing, you're going to be left behind. You will be left behind. Now, let me give you a practical example or a practical question. Who is making more money in music now? The old timers or the ones that are coming up now?
What's coming up?
Why do you think they're making more money? Not because they travel the world faster than the ones that were there before, but because there's tech. Now you can see it. Guess what? There was a time that you release a song, and then once the song is done for the year or 2 years, you stop getting shows for the song. You even stop making money on the song. You just get 1 or 2 royalty every now and then, just 1 or 2 crumbs of royalty. But now, your body of work can give you money for the rest of your life, even when you're done, even when you're dead and dusted. You know why? Because there's tech to keep bringing in money for you. People keep streaming your songs and your craft and your whatever. That brings you money on and on, non-stop. So the question now is, have you carefully revealed your skill set? Have you carefully revealed your discipline and understand how you can bring in technology into it? It's just like a farmer who is still using crude tools to farm. There isn't shovels and cutlasses and hoes. But you could take.
Wasn't it Peter who showed us the video of one farmer that was using something to uproot the ground?
Now you want to cut. You want to cut a 5 plots of land, and you're going to use cutlasses here. You will need how many people to do that in a day?
Okay, I think we have to comment. Osaka Princess, in our today generation, I will say we are goal-driven, but our environment, Nigeria, has limited us and forced us to be all impatient. Then Olada Pop says, I feel like you can be goal-driven and also impatient. You can be both. That is where the word eccentric emanates from, when you are goal-driven and impatient. Then Kateb says, he said, him saying tech, please, what's tech? Yes, tech is growing, but are you sure it was all made by young people, your tech in general? Biola Tiri Johnson Oluwakayode, I see you. Thank you for joining us, sir. He said, let's not forget that some of these tech are not even affordable. You know, I don't want us to restrict this conversation alone to technology. Technology is the means through which people use to project their work and their field, yes, into this world. But technology is not only the place people want to achieve much on. Technology is not only the field where people are now impatient. People want to, like on the gram, let's make use of social media influencers. Now you see, you are a comedian, you see that a comedian is making waves on social media these days, and you're like, what is it? What am I not doing? Is it that my joke not funny? You could even be funnier than the guy that is even more popular than you. Or you're an artist who has, there are better people. I'm sure without a doubt in my heart of hearts that we have better singers than Davido, Whiskey, the Burna Boy in Nigeria. But who are we seeing? These are the 3 frontiers that I even put in our faces more on social media. They even have constant banter on Twitter.
In this context, there's this guy, this person is a thinker, is a global thinker, thinks for world leaders, he thinks for countries. His name is Malcolm. Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Malcolm Gladwell. He said something. He said, I've traveled the world and I have seen, I have met, I have spoken to people who are way, way more intelligent than Bill Gates, more intelligent than some of the richest guys in the world. Because Bill is actually a genius. He's very intelligent.
He is.
That's why I mentioned that example. So you have seen people who are way more intelligent, but guess what? They're confined and restricted by their environment, and that's just life. That's life. So when you now tell me that, yes, in this climb, people are smart, people are goal-driven, true, but sometimes our climb will restrict us and limit us. That's life. That's LIFE. I'm sure you'll do better than you are doing now if you were not in this climb. Good for everybody around. It's just life. So that should be no alibi for you to now say that because certain things have restricted me. Nah, like I said before, I was giving you an example. You cut me off.
Yeah, sorry.
I said a farmer who wants to now cut. Hey,
Mali, I see you. Welcome. Yeah, you say, hey guys, I see you. Yeah,
hey guy, hey, what's up, Mali of Abuja? A farmer wants to cut a 5 plot of land with cutlasses and hoes. It will take a much longer time to do that compared to the new farmer guy across who has tractors. That's technology right there. Yeah. He's going to cut the thing in less than 30 minutes and he move on to the next task. But the man wants to cut with the crude tools, probably cut the farmland for the whole day. I'm not even done. It might not even be done. Continue the next day. While you're doing the same task for 2 days, I've done my own task in 30 minutes. I've been able to move on to the next task. I've completed like 5 to 6 more tasks ahead of you. That's technology. That's because I've been able to sit down and ask myself, oh, this is my farming industry now. How can I inculcate technology to help me to be better effective? I bring in tech. It's expensive, yes, but we're not here to discuss the expenses of technology.
No, there's also cheaper ways to make use of these things.
Exactly. People rent. You can rent tractors and all. But the question for the Mr. A is, you have not sat down to actually analyze your skill set, to ask yourself, with the aid of technology, what can I do better? Those are questions. You have to be able to ask yourself the right questions. Then you can get the right answers.
Sometimes you see that we challenge ourselves. You see that we challenge ourselves farther than what we can actually do.
That's just life for everybody. Not the same for everybody, but
on
a larger scale, sometimes when you challenge yourself, you don't necessarily will achieve all the things that you challenge yourself with, but you'll achieve something better. Someone said to me once, I aim for perfection, not because I know that I can actually achieve perfection, but because I aim so high, I'm going to come close. I aim to get like 95% over 100 in my studies, in my exams, but I know I might not be able to get 95. But because I aim so high, I might end up with the 80. But for the other guy that aims to get like, maybe just get pass mark, 50, 60, you're aiming so low. You might end up getting like 45 or 50 because you aimed so low. So everything is based on the individual. Every field, I repeat, every discipline can inculcate technology if only you can sit down and do proper analysis of yourself and your skill sets.
Okay.
Every industry.
Mali has asked the question. He said, do we have a goal? That's the first thing. I think this is relative, and this is based on personal perspective. Because the question of if you have a goal should be, do you have a goal? Not will. Because in this context now, there are people that have different goals.
Oh, too much actually.
The photographer, the fashion designer, the singer, the media personnel, their personal feats they want to achieve. But then the steps to get into that feat, that feat you have set for yourself, is it something that's achievable with you? Number one, is it time bound? The time that you're setting to achieve it, is it realistic enough? Are you setting a shorter time for something that could take a longer time? Or you're setting a longer time for something that could take a shorter time? As a matter of fact, I even want to deviate a bit from this particular discussion. Now, the question I was even going to throw was, the internet fraudsters, Yahoo boys in Nigerian context, and for those foreigners who might not understand what Yahoo boy means, the internet fraudsters, Yahoo boys, for example, are we going to say that most of them entirely delve into this field because of laziness in general? Or
rephrase, please.
Like now, we say that some of them that do Yahoo because they are lazy, they don't want to work, they want to make money fast, they don't want to go through the legitimate way, they want quick money. Is that always the case, or is there ever a justified reason why someone is pushed to making money illegally as an alternative?
Now, let's try and speak
in today's world
from the perspective of honest men. I wouldn't like you to come take my money. I wouldn't like to wake up in the morning and get a couple of emails, and when I read them, someone that's taking my money. And I'll make alibis for the person and say, it's a young person, he's just trying to make easy money, it's understandable, so my money is gone, it's fine. No, there's no one person in this life that will say, come and take my money. I know that you don't want to work hard, just take my money and go. So that's just so unrealistic. People who go into fraud have their own reasons for going into fraud. I don't want to lash anybody this morning.
He said, no offense to our guest, I'm enjoying this discussion. I'm trying to enjoy this topic too. So
I don't want to lash anybody too much, but people go into crimes for reasons best known to them, not to me. It's none of my business. But this is it. Like I said, this table is for honest men.
Yes.
You don't take what is not yours. You don't commit crime because you feel like you want to improve your life. If you want to improve your life, you go upskill. It's something they call upskill. People don't understand that term. Upskill. Go for something higher. It's not easy for you to upskill yourself now. All the jobs that are out there now are high earning jobs, meaning they're high skill jobs. It's gone with the days when you just be a medical doctor and you just sit back. Now this you can look. Okay, check it out now. I think last year, our university body actually broke down mass communication into 7 different departments. Yeah. It's no longer called mass comm. Mass comm is just like the mother body now. Now under mass comm you have 7 different another departments. Now you have 7 different disciplines. There's multimedia, there's stage, whatever, you get now. So things have been broken down now. So you don't tell me that because you're looking for an easy way to make money, you now have to defraud Mr. B. Mr. B has made money maybe the hard way, but you want to make easy money. Go upskill. You can be, like Babake said, he said he's got a neighbor who works from home and he makes as much as $300 every hour. And his job is just to review some Microsoft problems online job. Just push a couple of keyboards. But for him to have gotten to that level, he has upskilled himself. He has done some expensive courses. He has buried his head in some skills. He has done some learning. So there is no justification for anybody to go into crime and say because I want to make easy money.
Yeah, okay. None. Sweet Mama 188, I see you say good afternoon, house. Welcome to you, Sweet Mama. I have learned that because something works out for me means it would work out for another. there is right time and opportunity. Okay. Before we ask our third question, we have a behind the scene contribution.
Yeah.
BTS.
Yeah, BTS.
I actually, don't always do this as I used to before, but to support what Lakeside said, Mr. Capet said, Katep,
Yeah.
fraud is fraud is a bad thing, but some people lack the opportunity that makes them do things.
Make them join things.
Now, like Lakeside said, the truth is, if you position yourself in an area where opportunities will come, when they come, try to grab them and not miss them. Let me break it down. It is easy to always say there was no opportunity, that's why the guy had to join this, had to do this. I've said this on live radio a couple of times and I will say it again. When I started working here, I wasn't the studio engineer. I was a cleaner. That was how I started working here. I come in the morning, I open the office, I clean, I fold my hands and I'm watching people working. But I told myself I did not come to this life to end up being a cleaner. For what? How? That's not possible. So what did I do? I started studying these things by myself. I didn't go to any school to study engineering, study audio engineering, but no. I learned it all, whether you like it or yes. Every young man on the street these days has an Android phone. You have a smartphone. You're able to buy data to WhatsApp that lady. Hey, babe, what's up? To check Instagram, to this. Why not use it to watch YouTube videos and grow yourself?
Skill.
Now, I've positioned myself in a place where if there's a job for 5 million naira, people will tell you, talk to Peter. If there's a job, no matter how much, no matter how difficult the job is, they'll tell you, talk to Peter. He will be able to do it. He has an idea or he has done it before. That's self-growth. So you don't wait for opportunities to say, because there was no opportunity for me, I became an arm robber. No. It means you were already a lazy person in the first place. Because nothing on earth, especially in Nigeria, will ever be handed to you. It is not possible. Nobody hands anything to you. We were saying something yesterday with Slim. Some guys were in BTC and all that. We're like, let's come to think of it. As a black Nigerian man, I get connect to pluck real money. Do you think I will share it out with people? The Nigerian mentality tells you, if I give another person this update now, you go cast. So make I hold them. You understand?
And you're like, I see you, Danjuma, I see you, welcome.
So that's why at the end of the day, the ones they give you doesn't work. Because it's not the original one they are using. So I may be making money online via translating songs or dropping books on Amazon, or you understand?
Yeah.
But I will not tell you. I'll tell you what, now online. That's how the average Nigerian man thinks. So if you are waiting that somebody will create opportunity for you or give you opportunity, I tell you this with all sincerity.
You wait forever.
You will wait forever.
You heard me. Forever.
Open your eye, pick up your phone, create opportunities for yourself. I started a teaching class for phonography, how you shoot videos with your phone. Nobody taught me that. I learned it from YouTube. I started shooting music videos and all that. Yes, I learned all these things. I'm telling you, going for events, watch people do it. Go for BTS, watch. Those are things I chose. So no opportunity is given to anybody anywhere.
This guy said something.
Create opportunity for yourself.
He says around these matters, when you grow up with lions, you behave like lions. You don't behave like goats. So he's liking it to surround.
We, Mr. Kateb, we in this climb, or we in this section, we prefer to come from a perspective or an angle of people who believe that when you can upskill and bury your head to learn certain things over time, there will be compensation and reward. We don't make excuses that I know my climb is messed up. This is Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian guy now.
If you don't know what to do about Nigeria, you are shooting yourself in the leg.
For every time you try to do something in Nigeria, you get discouraged 5 times. You still have to push yourself the 6th time. That's because we are Nigerians. That doesn't mean I will not give up and chill and say, I don't tire. Well, if you don't tire, be that. Like Mr. Peter said, no one's going to give you nothing. You have to go and take it yourself. You take it yourself. Okay, nobody gives you nothing.
I want to say welcome to you, Laviv. If you're joining us, this is Hey Let's Talk on Empire Radio 360. And we are back, of course, we're back on the conversation. And I want to appreciate every engagement and everyone that has joined. So I'm going to twist this conversation now a bit. And this will be the last phase as a round off. And I'm going to remove it from the aspect of achieving things on skill set now. On the aspect of marriage, I know many of us, all of us here are not married, but then marriage or relationship, so that it can be relatable. On the aspect of marriage and relationship, the desire to get married early enough than usual, than maybe people that want to marry in their 20s, although we know most of the time it's always ladies that always want to get married in their 20s, the usual than to get married already in their 20s, people in their 20s feeling desperate that they are not yet married. Is this because we seem to have more determined or established families earlier than the times of old? Is it because we now tend to see families or people are hooked up early, they seem happy early enough than in time of old? That's one of the reasons why people are now impatient relationship-wise or maritally wise. I want to get married by this time. If I've not met this target, they start to get depressed. I want to have a man or partner by this time. If I don't have this partner, it now feels like they're not qualified because somebody in this present age has hit that relationship status fit earlier than expected.
So now my advice to myself and to everyone listening would be, please measure your own success relatively. Do your own measurements. Your success, your happiness is what you know of. It's just that thing you see on social media where that girl is so happy with that young man and they got married and they had a wedding that cost about 50 to 100 million. Is what you have just seen. At the back end, behind the scene, you don't know nothing. You do not know what's going on. You see those people running to get married, running to go do, I don't jump the broom or I don't marry. Many of them are actually not even happy. But they do these things because of the show. They do this thing because of societal pressure, friends pressure. People pressure you and say, you need to marry, or you need to do this. People even change their cars because of the friends.
Okay, let's do something.
Sorry, I think in support of that, the truth is, generally, look at it from this angle. Men, the male gender, generally do not get that thing of I got married.
No, in my question was ladies I put, but
good.
If there's something I've suffered on this show, is that I've seen ladies fight me for talking about ladies and not having a lady on the show.
I'm sorry about that.
So that's why I try to make it general.
Yeah, no, we'll try and get ladies, but generally, when it comes to marriage issue, it affects the feminine gender more because they have this mindset, and that's why I think it will be biased also to talk about this without having a lady. Actually, I'm supporting your people now. Why? Whether we like it or yes, every lady, God created them with the full stop button that has a pause at the end. Guys, a man of 70 can still impregnate a girl of 18 and he go born. But by the time the woman don't pass the menopause age, so sometimes I don't blame them when you're trying to do that. If a lady of 28 years is having this mindset, I'm not worried. I'm like, okay. If a lady of 20 is having this, I'm like, I think you want to jump into marriage because your family is poor and you want to put your weight and your family's weight on the young man that you think can carry your load, so that at the end of the day, you will now become better in life.
There's a word for that. Hypergamy.
Boom.
Hypergamy. People do that a lot.
So you get. So a 20, 22, 23 years guy saying, oh God, I never married.
Somebody has updated us. Sorry, before you call, I want to read them. Someone said, this is why I will say big thanks for this kind of conversation, because many of us are not properly guided at all. And that's very true.
See, the truth is, before I go back to the marriage thing, what he said, the world we live in today, bros, if you're listening to me right now, the world we live in today, it is beyond the stage of people sitting you down and guide you. Whether I would like it or yes, when I was growing up, I had uncles and aunties and my dad that would sit me down sometimes and say some things. Even if I wasn't listening, my own is I want to go and play football, allow me go. But they are sitting down here. Do you know that this life you are is not as easy as you understand? Parents don't do that these days. Schools don't do that these days. Even churches don't do that these days. So it is now in the generation where people learn from the street. And when you're learning from the street, it takes grace.
This is not funny.
Because even some of us that learned from elder ones and all that, we still did not even turn out to be what we're supposed to be. I know some of my guys right now that are not where they would have wanted to be. It means when they were talking, as I then they had somebody talking, they were not even still listening. Let alone now that nobody is talking to you. You understand? But one thing I always tell everybody and tell myself is, when you have a goal in mind, nothing becomes a distraction. I'm not going to shame anybody online right now, but please forgive me. We were having a discussion yesterday with the two ladies that came to the studio. And I told one of them that she said something about squishes that was trending on Twitter. And she takes squishes. I'm like, really? She now asks, is Scooch a hard drug? I told her, I've never taken hard drug since I was born. She was surprised. She was like, I beg you. I'm like, I'm telling you the truth. I drink alcohol, yes. But I've never gone and taken hard drugs that we know of. You understand? And she was like, wow, really? Now, what am I trying to drive at? Society right now shows you that the best way to cure depression is by doing that. I don't know if you get. Yeah. So, if in this generation, when nobody is positioning you for anything, you're finding it difficult to become something. Come to think of us that even had the opportunity to listen. We still didn't become anything. So it is what you choose to do with yourself that will position you for those opportunities. That's just the truth. It's difficult. That's the truth. But when you put your mind to it, I know if you suffer like this now. I know I'm a papa take group. No. I won't become better. Boom. You started thinking right. But when you start thinking, oh boy, where will they turn up? Where does my nigga? Guy, you never did think. I'm telling you.
The funny thing is that this thing you just said, I think sadly, you might not want to many of them might not want to accept these things. But I think many young people in today's world, many young people, they think because they are young, they have time to do certain things with their young age and it will fly.
The funny thing is,
it will fly.
There's no time. Even if it's flying, there's no time.
No time, really.
We know. See,
I looked at my age of recent and I'm like, damn. When I was working on the street few months, 2 years back, when I pass some people, they always say, bros. They always say, bros, good afternoon. And truth be told, it gets me angry. I'm like, why they call me bros? Guy, we be guys.
I'm a small boy, they call me bros.
You understand? But do you know that of late, I looked at the mirror, I'm like, damn, I don't really be that bro, so
exactly.
What have I achieved? Man, time no D.
Now there's something that this thing you have just said. Amenzi, I see you. Welcome. Thank you for joining the show. Kateb said, I beg, I need opportunity. I want to be a model and a photographer. You will see opportunity. Go and look for it, my brother.
Mr. Kateb.
Well, let me quickly clear Kateb. Kateb, there are a lot of modeling companies out there that would give you a job. My younger brother is in Lagos. He wants to do modeling. Right now, he got a job from one company at Ikorodu. How? What he does is, he knows he doesn't have the connect. He will tell his friends that has iPhones and all that. He would, gym up and all that, take pictures and upload on his social media page. Personally, as this is my body, I can model. If a friend sews a new cloth and is the same size with him, he wears it and uploads. If he does the same thing, he wears it and upload. So they saw him, they sent him a message, and now he wants to start working with them. So my brother, modeling, see, these are the way you create opportunities for yourself. You want to be a model, nobody will just call you, guy, as I walk up for KK, I see you walk up pass, I see your body side, I like him.
Kateb, I think this is what I'm going to reply. You say, where I am, I can't find them. You have a device.
My brother, is it not a device you are using? Yeah.
You're using a phone to talk to us right now.
You found us.
You don't have to look for a physical location. As a matter of fact, who walks about looking for a job these days?
Nobody
is online.
Who does it, man?
Virtual.
So help yourself, my brother.
Virtual.
But then I'm going to now bring the question I was going to ask, and this will be the last. I promise. I know I said the last question was going to be the last, but Peter said something that made me remember this question. I put up something recently, and I told someone, Forbes posted something. Let me see if I could look for it so that I would not. I don't want to paraphrase it. I actually want to read it the way Forbes posted it. That my friend said, my brother, you must remember that we are in Nigeria, that we are not in America or whatever. He said, Forbes said something about 30-year-olds. If you're not up to 30-year-old, I really wish I could find it right now as soon as possible. But what it made us understand is, if you are not up to 30-year-old, don't pressure yourself. You still have time. That's what Forbes said. So you could keep doing your thing, but don't feel like you've wasted your time, because if you're not up to 30-year-old, you still have time. Now, I posted it, and I made people understand that I see people that are actually working, and they feel like they're not doing enough. Clothes vendors, young ones, they feel they're not selling well enough. They're not getting customers enough. And they're like 21, 22, 23 in their 20s, and they feel like what they are selling is not selling enough, and they feel depressed about it. Or people that are just starting businesses. And I put it up, and I'm like, you guys calm down.
Calm down.
Take your time, don't waste your time. We're not telling you to waste your time. Of course, put in the work. But as you're putting in the work, take your time. Don't put in the work with that impatient mentality. My friend replied and he told me that, my brother, this is Nigeria. That the average time that a foreign person would have, or a person in a Western world would have to achieve certain things, is not the same for us here. He said if we don't start it early, we'll look at us. And there was a time you were talking about it we're talking about it, and we're like, literally, when you are in Nigeria, if you are 30 years, probably that's when you're just starting your life. Probably that's when you might just be starting your life in Nigeria. But in a westernized country, probably in 19-year-old are already achieving their goals because the climb suits them. So now, the question I'm putting out openly to everyone listening to me and to my guys in the studio, does this thing actually have to do with the climb, whereby when you start to achieve your goals is determined on where you are presently?
Now, this is what I have to say to people.
Because my friend gave me a contradiction to that thing that Forbes posted. And I know in my mind, Forbes are not just referring to Americans. They were talking to everybody in the world.
Everybody in the world. So now this is what I have to say to you. If you push yourself beyond your own limits, if you push yourself beyond your breaking points, and eventually you achieve your feats, who gains? Who receives the accolades and the compensation? Who is happy? Who smiles? You, yeah? Mm-hmm. So why in the world do you want to make excuses for yourself? Oh God, we're all Nigerians and we are stuck here. We know that for you to achieve certain things here, you'd have to work 3 times as hard. Everybody knows that. But that should not be an alibi for you to sit your lazy ass down and keep making excuses for yourself.
Oh, Mali has a question, Seth. But that's...
Lakeside. You know why I like this topic? And like I said, I stopped doing this, talking from behind the mic and all that. But I have to do this today. See, I am always that guy that uses myself as an example. I wasn't born into a silver spoon family.
Who they born for silver spoon?
out of 9 children, I was the only one opportune to go to school. Out of 9 children.
That's to finish.
Yes, to finish from the 4 walls of a university. Every other person stopped at junior secondary, SS3. But one thing I told myself was, even if you go to school in Nigeria, it doesn't guarantee you anything. It only makes you enlightened.
Exposed to certain things.
My immediate younger brother, Godwyn knows him, Emmanuel. He's a fashion designer. He sews clothes that people abroad wears.
Bad guy.
As I'm talking to you right now, he's on top of his machine. He has some couple of clothes that they are taking to the US real soon. He stopped at SS3. But there was this mindset that I was able to put in them. It is not about, oh, I didn't go to school, or, oh, and the society. No. What do you want to become? What's that thing you have in your mind that you can achieve with or without education? And then he started doing furniture job at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, oh boy, this one no fits me. He quit and became a fashion designer. And I promise you this, I'm not joking. If I wear his designs out, everybody always asks me, who sold this level? Give me a number. That's called self-determination. He was determined. I know other people like that also. Sure you get. So all this, what's it called? Life begins at 30. Life begins. Oga, if your mind opens at 18, start fighting for your life.
At 18, right there.
And in this present generation we are now, at 16 their eyes are open. Come on, 17 years old boy doing street. What are you telling me? Is your eyes not open?
I've helped you. So Carter, before he goes, sorry to cut you. Said I'm out, guys. Thanks for today. You all just lift my spirit a bit. It's been down lately. We are glad that we lifted.
Oh, thank you very much, Carter.
We're glad we lifted your spirits. Please, anything where they carry your spirit down, I beg. We will lift your spirit here.
So say you get. Now for Mali, businessmen.
Yes, he has a question.
This is one thing I learned when I went to the island to meet Boss. His friends came around. I'm talking about men of industries. They came around. And they're in their 50s, 60s, 40 something. And one of them said something when he was giving a speech. He said, the level and the type of friends you keep around you today when you are young becomes the people you do business with when you are old. So choose wisely. He said, all of them that were standing, now they are meeting each other. In 5 years' time, they are going to be the next Dangote, the next. Instead of mentioning names, he said, how? One person has a business, you give to the next person, the next person. It is through friendship that you actually make it. That's why we use this word a lot. I submit my CV because I don't know person. When it was your time to know somebody, you were forming or you were making the wrong friends. Exactly. When you were in school, those guys that were actually focused on their studies did not become your friends. The ones that were balling and were smoking and were doing all sorts of nonsense were your friends. Now you're complaining. Check it. Let's be truthful to ourselves. Check it. Those guys that were reading their books then and trying their best to become something, or those guys that didn't want to play ball with you because they know their father didn't have money for school fees, that were pushing themselves to become something, today are the ones eating the money that you are angry about. Then when you see them drive past,
I don't really the ones eating the money.
What I mean by that is, see, everybody is eating weight, everybody is eating money on different levels.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Whether we like it or yes, there are billionaires, millionaires, thousandaires, even hundredaires, if there's anything like that. I don't know if you get. You can be among your friends and all of you are rolling in hundreds of thousands. And for that level, you're okay. A time will come where the set of you will still break out to the 1,000 level. So who do you have around you? Is it that guy that calls you, my guy, avoid more enter one side? Or is it that guy that calls the guy, oh my day YouTube since so we get this graphics, this is the graphics that you do now. You get one graphics with one guy they do and the thing they must my head. Or is it that guy that calls you and like, you get, so who do you surround yourself with? You're looking for opportunity. Who do you surround yourself with? Is it the guy that takes you to Bet Ninja shop Monday to Friday and you keep burning your money? And then you want to come out tomorrow when you have 30, when you are 35, when you are 40, and you want to tell me, this life.
This country
is fucked up. That's what we say. But you're forgetting that the country starts from you. So please, in everything you do, whatever you do, surround yourself with people that are in the same atmosphere.
Same headspace.
With you. Because they are the ones tomorrow that all of you will still move to the next level. Because whether you like it or yes, making friends with a big man is not easy when you don't have anything to bring to the table. If you're a fellow big man, it's easy for me to walk up to Dangote and like, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And he checks my bag and like, wow, you understand? But when I want to meet Dangote as I am now, I won't reach there. So you have levels.
Go beat him, buddy.
I don't know if you get. So you don't think tomorrow that, because we say this a lot, one day, one big man could just see my work online, could just call me, guy, calm down. Now the people around you go see your work, call you. When I go move from level to level. When you get to 50, you look around, you be like, oh boy, don't tell where we start to. That's how life works.
Well, I think I want to put the show to an end now. You'll be Eugene5. I see you. Thank you for joining the show. And Lillian_112. Thank you both for joining the show. Unfortunately, we are bringing the show to a round off. You heard it all. There's nothing to add again. But in summary, from my own part, in as much as you are goal-driven, be focused. Pursue your goal the legitimately feasible way you can. Push yourself correctly. Don't push yourself negatively. Push yourself correctly in the right way that when you eventually start to achieve certain things, you'll find fulfillment. But in the process, don't get frustrated with your efforts. Everybody has a particular timing for themselves. That's one thing you must know. The time I would hit it is not the time Lakeside will hit it. It might be, but you don't know. That's the truth. You don't know when you get there. You might not be in control of your timing, but what you're in control of is what you do in the process. So as you are involved in your process on whatever feed you are doing, don't burn yourself out of impatience. As long as you're legitimately working, as long as you're doing your thing, open yourself to opportunities and trust me, you go make them. I have a song that is titled Make 'em. By the way, you can go to YouTube and listen to it. By God, you know the Make 'em. But as a round off right now, thank you for being on the show. Till we see you again on Friday.
Go make 'em.
Bye for now. When I go make 'em. When I go make 'em. Bye bye.